Hey y'all, welcome into Bales Farms. I'm Barry, this is Allison, and thank you for joining us for episode 3 of our series called Front Porch Conviviality, where we sit here on the front porch and have a little conversation, a little fun, a few laughs, some trivia, a little bit of information. So here we are. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm hot. I'm ready for fall. Have I mentioned that? I'm ready for an extended fall.
Well, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Pears are here. I made us some yummy cocktails
What a segue.
with with pears from your trees.
Our
Thank you.
trees.
Well, you're the one that did them. You're the one that grafted them.
Well,
You actually grafted them.
yeah.
It's a very difficult process, and Barry is very good at it.
Well, no, I'm not. It is very difficult, and I've had very limited success.
But you've had success. The pears are awesome.
I have, yeah.
And so I got pears and I juiced them, and I made us each a yummy cocktail.
Well, normally we prepare our own cocktails. Today, Allison was in charge, so I'm going to let her tell you what each of these are.
Okay. This is I should have practiced this. This is a pear vodka martini. And you are having, I made yours, but you kind of told me, I didn't see the,
it is
what it's called.
ginger pear bourbon, right? Or was that a different one?
That was a different one.
Okay, well, basically mine, I know what goes in it. The juice from one pear, juice from one pear, 3 ounces of bourbon, 1 ounce of maple syrup, and
vanilla.
Right, a quarter teaspoon of
I think a little bit more vanilla. Anyway.
Okay, quarter ounce of vanilla extract. You can play around with it and make it your own. But yes, these pears are from here on the farm. I grafted some pear trees. We have a little orchard we started here from some very old-timey pear trees out in the back field that's been back there as long as I can remember. Many, many years. And I think the maple syrup was a gift from our friends, the Gibson brothers, right?
Yes,
in
the
upstate
very
New York.
nice Gibson brothers.
And
we love each of them equally.
Unlike their mother.
That's terrible. That is terrible. That is terrible. But I will say, your little Facebook feud with Lee is quite entertaining sometimes.
It's all in good fun. Lee and I like each other really well.
Yes, they are lovely. And you know, Eric now he's raising his own chickens, and he's doing a great job. And they, of course, are at home and rocking out family life. And Eric just also posted some beautiful pictures of sunflowers, and they're living their best life.
Way to go, Gibson brothers.
Yay.
For those of you that may not know, they're friends of ours. They are brothers from upstate New York. And when I say upstate New York, I mean upstate New York. I went up there. They grew up on a dairy farm up there. Interesting cats. You think of New York, you definitely don't think dairy farm. You don't think rural farming communities. They still own part of that farm, and Lee uses it for a hunting property. And I went up grouse hunting with him a couple of years ago, and he'd always said, yeah, we were right near the Canadian border. And we were out in the woods following the dogs one day, and I felt my phone vibrate in my pocket. I took it out and looked at it, and it was a message from Verizon saying, welcome to Canada. So they're close.
Did you get stopped by the Canadian Mounties or anybody?
We weren't actually in Canada. We were just close enough to get on the tower.
Oh. Not physically get on the tower, just on the tower, right?
Connect to the tower.
Okay.
Yes. No. Okay, so it's been another hot day here in Mossheim. Very, 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 very humid. I'm on my second or third shirt of the day. Hopefully, it's going to cool off maybe next week. So, unless you've got anything on your mind, we'll dive right into the questions.
Okay, dive right in.
Okay, so I have some housekeeping to do. There was a question that was asked of us on the very first episode about how we met, and I went into great detail on that, but evidently not great enough because I got sidetracked and left part of the story out. If you want to see the whole story, hear the whole story, go back and watch episode 1. To answer the question, the one of my running buddies in college ended up, he's now my brother-in-law. He's married to Allison's sister, Ellen. So that was, and they were dating at the time, but I don't know that I ever met her. I never saw her. I just
Well, she went to UT.
would see him on the phone.
And that was back in the dark ages, before cell phones.
So that's the answer to that question. So you have a question. Somebody asked you, which one are you going to do?
Well,
Can I pick?
Sure.
Okay. They asked, and there again, for some of y'all that may not know, we homeschool Marshall, our son, and Allison recently put up a good video and has written some blog posts about homeschooling, particularly because of the times that we're in, and a lot of people are getting into it for the first time. So the question that we had was, do you have a dedicated homeschool space here at home?
Okay. Yes, we do. We did not start out with one. We started out using the dining room table, and then decided that we use the homeschool room 5 days a week versus a spare bedroom that we might use a couple of times a year when somebody comes over. So we changed the spare bedroom over to a homeschool room, and Barry did some great work in that. Thank you. And now we have a big table up there. We have a really nice comfy chair that folds out into a twin bed. And so
Not that they use that in school.
Right, we don't use that in school. I do not allow napping in school, except when I'm really super sleepy. And
do you have a blue and red mat that you sleep on?
No. I have forgotten about the blue and red mat. Did you have a blue and red mat in kindergarten? It was blue and red?
Yeah.
Where did you get it?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh.
Probably Big K.
You know what?
Or Howard Brothers.
We got mine, and mine was not blue and red. Mine was Incredible Hulk.
See, we didn't have that option. Y'all had money though. So.
No. No, it was by the time that I was in kindergarten, they had.
No, I remember
colored
I remember
things.
taking naps and having my mat in elementary school.
Like first grade?
It was probably second grade.
Wow.
Imagine if you could have, like we hated it then, but think about how much you would have wanted to do it in high school.
But that was back when you had to walk to school, right? Both ways. That was before cars and stuff. Yeah.
Black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's it. So yes, we have a room. We go in that room in the morning to do school.
Well, and we divided one of the walls and made it probably a third or more of it is a chalkboard. We use chalkboard paint for the entire wall, and then there's another third, more or less, that is a piece of metal that magnets will attach to, and you can keep your papers and everything up there. And then there's a cork board on one side.
Mm-hmm.
Your dad's made a lot of shelving for books and whatnot.
Mm-hmm. So it's just a really nice space that we can go into and say, okay, now we're in school. Get the books, buddy. Yeah. And so now we have a question from our good friend William Sullivan in Florida. Thank you, William. And he wanted to know, what is your favorite way to prepare wild game? What do you like to do best?
I saw that post. I think William specifically asked about wild turkey, did he not?
He specifically did. But I bet he would not be mad if you
Well, I'll
veered.
I'll veer off on that. How's that?
Yeah.
William is a good friend of mine and an avid turkey hunter. Took me and helped me get my Osceola turkey, which
For those who don't
for
know.
non-hunters, wild turkeys, there are multiple subspecies of them, and the Osceola is one of those, and only found in parts of Florida. So it is sought after if you are wanting to complete your. There's different. They call them a slam, Grand Slam, World Slam. I think maybe Royal Slam. Grand Slam is if you get one of each species in the United States. Around here we have the eastern subspecies. Parts of Florida, there's the Osceola.
Now you have gotten your Grand Slam.
I have gotten a Grand Slam. Yes, I didn't do it in a year. A lot of people will try to do it in one season, but yes, I hunt easterns here. William allowed me to get an Osceola. I got a Rio Grande in Texas and a Merriam's in Montana. So,
did you see the Duttons when you were up there?
I started to go there just now, but I didn't know if I'd ever come back. Have you been watching Yellowstone?
Bear's in love.
I'm hooked on Yellowstone, and I'm not a TV watcher. I don't really have a show. Like I've never seen Game of Thrones. I've never seen House of Cards. I've never seen any of those. Doesn't interest me.
Tiger King.
Never seen Tiger King. Although based on the newspaper, if we went to Knoxville, there's a tiger on the loose in Knoxville. They say. Anyway.
Service animal.
Really? Wow.
Quite the service.
So anyway, Yellowstone, which is on the Paramount channel, which we do not get, but we figured out how to get it. One of the apps that's like Hulu. That type.
You can say it. It's a Peacock.
No, I'm going to. I'm just telling them what it is rather than saying we got it on a Peacock.
Okay, so now we really are off topic.
Well, we'll come back. Isn't that what you always say?
Yeah,
You're the queen of getting off topic.
But these poor people are.
There again, this is free. We're not charging for this.
Well, so is the Peacock.
Well, only if you want to watch the very first show of anything on there. After that, you have to pay for it, which we did. We paid $4.99 for a month of Peacock so that we can binge watch Yellowstone. Yellowstone is the Kevin Costner series about a ranching family in Montana, and I described it yesterday to somebody as Dallas meets The Sopranos.
Okay.
So anyway, if you're looking for something to watch, check it out. It's pretty rough.
Back to the turkeys.
It's pretty rough, but it's good.
Oh, it is.
So back to turkeys. As far as my favorite way to prepare wild turkey for the table, I've tried a lot of things. I've tried, and always trying to do something fancy or something out of the ordinary. And deep fried deep frying a whole turkey, smoked turkey, all kinds of different things. And just for tasting great, I always keep going back to just like turkey fingers or turkey nuggets, breaded, deep fried. Hard to beat. I make those usually at Thanksgiving. We usually host, I'm an only child, so we host her family. And the kids who are not hunters or outdoorsy types love that wild turkey fixed that way. Mm-hmm. So that's, just, throwing it all out. I'd say that's my favorite way.
Barry will take out a breast, which a wild turkey breast is very different than the breast that you get from the store. And I will brine it in a brine with jalapeno peppers and some other things, and we could put those recipes up. We put them up on our blog or something.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, follow us on the blog, and we'll put them up there.
And you'll find the blog on our website, Bales Farms, TN as in Tennessee.com. I mean, as in Tennessee is just understood. That's not really part of our address. BalesFarmsTN.com. And
That would be a super long website
Yeah.
address.
so
That would be really long.
you go to, one of the headings is Our Story, and then there's a drop-down menu there, and it will have
Blog.
Yeah, it'll show you where you can click and go to the blog.
Yeah.
As far as wild game in general, that's a toughie, but it really is a lot of work. But duck gumbo is hard to beat. My late friend Chad Thielen down in Lake Charles, Louisiana, where I got Doc, my chocolate lab from, sent me his duck gumbo recipe, which is what I follow, and it takes a long time. It's a couple of days worth of work, but
It makes a big mess in the kitchen. But it's in the winter. What else are you going to do?
right. So anyway, I'll at some point we'll post that recipe as well.
Okay, so how are you going to top, now that we've answered the questions, how are you going to top last week's little trivia about Frank Sinatra?
I don't know. I should have saved that one. It's hard to top that.
Mm.
Maybe it's your turn.
Oh, I don't know any trivia. I studied too hard in school. I didn't learn any fun stuff. Except for the Marie Antoinette.
Right. Was that in school?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I had a great high school history teacher. Ann Banks was her name. Yeah, she was great. So last week we had a word of the day, which was,
Tuscarora.
so we had multiple correct entries about Tuscarora.
We did?
We did have that they knew the word, but you're going to tell them where the word comes from.
Oh yeah, what I was getting at is, what are we referencing? Because I thought that my inflection was such that if somebody knew where we were using that term from, they would know.
Right, but no one did.
I don't think anybody got that.
No, they thought more of us than they thought we were deeper than we are.
Well, it comes from, I said I don't have a show, but we are huge fans of the Andy Griffith Show. And there was an episode, the name of the episode escapes me, but Buddy Ebsen played a hobo. Buddy Ebsen, Jed Clampett from the original Beverly Hillbillies, Barnaby Jones.
Wait, the original Beverly Hillbillies?
Not the movie. I mean, they made a movie.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was, what was his name? Hey, Vern. Jim Varney. Jim Varney was Jed Clampett. And the guy, the big, tall, black-headed guy that was in Drew Carey's show, played Jethro. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, well, anyway. Yeah, they made a movie back in the... No.
Whose line is it anyway?
No. His...
Oh, I didn't ever watch that.
Yeah. Guess that's why it's not on anymore.
Well, he does The Price is Right now.
But anyway, the TV series, The Beverly Hillbillies.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy Ebsen played Jed Clampett. Mm-hmm. He was also in this episode of the Andy Griffith Show.
As a hobo.
As a hobo, particularly one that was, a term that I've learned by marrying into this family, he was work brickle, which means he was opposed to work. And Andy was trying to help him get on his feet and was giving him all these jobs to do, and he was always slipping off, going fishing. And little Opie got sucked into that, and they met up on the street. They were walking downtown or something, and were at a gumball machine. And so Buddy Ebsen was showing him how to get gumballs out of it for free. and he had a little screwdriver or something that he would jimmy it with, but wouldn't let Opie see it. And he said, all you got to do is say the magic word. And he'd do the thing, and he'd go, Tuscarora! And he'd turn it, and a bunch of gumballs would fall out. So
Now, let's return to the work brickle. Because you said it's a term that I've learned by marrying into your family.
I had never heard it before.
You're not saying my family is work brickle.
No, I'm saying that's the first place I ever heard it was from your family.
Okay. We just needed to probably clarify that.
Yeah.
Although my dad did work at Eastman, and they did have a lot of breaks. But he's not work brickle.
Well, yeah. Well, there's a difference between working somewhere and being employed somewhere. So yeah. So is that your segue into this week's word?
That was my segue into this.
So did we or did we not have a winner?
We did have a winner.
Look at our Bales Farms cups. I promised they existed. There they are.
Yes.
We're going to have to call them. They're known as stadium cups. I don't think there's going to be a lot of people going to stadiums anytime soon. So, front porch cup?
Sure.
Okay.
Front porch cup. Yes. Do we say who won?
Well, we did. The only person that I know of that actually kind of gave us, I guess maybe we were a little vague, but there was a mention of, there was also another nod to Lonesome Dove.
Yes.
Talking about Dietz and his ragged clothes. And we had a YouTube comment from Taranya Holmes, who's a friend of ours and customer of ours in Kingsport. So,
and she's a mighty cougar.
Well, now we definitely need to clarify that.
Oh, no. She's been married to James for who you went to school with.
Yes. Cougars are the mascot of their high school, Sullivan Central Cougars.
Central Cougars, yeah. And you were a South Rebel. They're doing away with both of those schools now to combine them probably because of South, because you all are so offensive.
That's all those darn homeschoolers.
It's not the darn homeschoolers. It's that Sullivan County's schools are not doing very well. I mean, the buildings, and so they needed to build a new building. And so they're just going to make a big, huge one.
Okay.
So anyway, Taranya, aren't you excited? Aren't you excited? Yeah. You'll get one if you answer the rest of them. It's like the McDonald's glasses and plates from when we were kids. Do you remember those?
Yeah.
And like you could get one, and then in another month you could get another one.
We had some from Long John Silver's.
Really?
I think they were Christmas, maybe?
I do not know about that. We never went to Long John Silver's when I was a kid. But we did go to...
That's why your arteries still have blood flowing through them.
We did go to Captain D's every once in a while. My sister hated fish. And so she would just
get... Is it really fish?
It's fish. It's fish.
It's delicious.
It's
I just don't know if it's fish.
It's fish. And so she would, back then, it was the early 80s at best. And she would just get a basket of crunchies.
Ooh, man.
Hold the fish.
And a big spoon. That sounds awesome, actually.
You cannot do that now. It's like eating the skin on the chicken. You can't do it.
I'd eat the skin on our chicken.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, back when we were kids and we went to the Eastman cafeteria, you get fried chicken. You could either get dark meat or white meat. And do you want the skin on or no? Of course you want the skin on.
Well, yeah.
But now people look down at that.
So?
Just saying.
Fleetwood Mac said it best. You can go your own way. So are we going to wrap it up? Do you have anything else to say? Do you want to answer another question?
Well, we need a word of the day. What's the word of the day, Barry? Come on, hit us with something.
Okay, I've been thinking about this, and I don't think it necessarily has to be a word per se. I mean, obviously it has to be intelligible and not just gibberish, but everything that I'm going to give out, as Eddie Stubbs says, it's probably deep catalog, but if you get it, you'll get it. So the word slash term slash phrase for this episode is quackenbush. Quackenbush.
Wow.
So if you know what that references, send us a comment, and you too might get a hot off the press Bales Farms front porch cup.
Okay.
Does that work?
Sure.
Or do you have anything on your heart? Any word?
No, quackenbush is a good word.
Okay.
That's a word I did not know existed. So that's a good word.
Okay.
That's a good word. All right. Well, no, nothing about any cups. Nothing about any glasses. No anatomical.
I'm kind of low on trivia today.
Okay.
It's just fact. It's just that's the way it is.
We have taken up enough of your time. Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Thanks for joining us. Start looking for a few recipes. There's always recipes. Allison has all kinds of recipes on the blog, on our Instagram, on Facebook.
Well, what else are we going to do
And
in 2020?
we'll start adding in some of these wild game recipes and some drink recipes probably as we go. So look for those. Again, the website is Bales Farms with an S, TN.com. Our email address, if you need to get a hold of us, is balesfarmstn@gmail.com.
We're not very, what would you say? Like we don't like swing out much. We find something we like and we stick with it. Like Bales Farms TN, we're sticking with it for everything.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the way that works. Strangely enough, Bales Farms was taken as a web address. So
we get the Duttons to go out. We get Rip to go out there and take care of that.
Goodness. Also,
we're just on season 2, so
don't send us any spoiler alerts. And we got to figure out if anybody knows how to get season 3, because season 3 is not yet on Peacock. We know it's on Amazon.
Maybe.
But it's for a good bit more money than what we were paying for Peacock. So if you got any ideas, let us know.
But Mulan is on Disney Plus for like $30, so you can get the whole season for less than that.
Okay.
So
and maybe that's what we have to do.
And I mean, it's $20 for Kevin Costner.
Okay.
And Rip and
yeah. All right. Thanks for joining us. Please continue to send in your questions.
If you don't, it's just going to be this. And you don't want to see. Nobody wants to see this. They want questions. Inquiring minds.
Well, we answered a few questions.
Yeah.
Do you want to give them one more just so they feel like they got their money's worth?
Let's see. Favorite weeknight meal, really quickly.
For busy families.
Yeah.
Isn't that everybody?
Quickly. Yeah.
I mean, to some degree.
Yeah. I will say we have been loving lately noodle bowls, Asian noodle bowls, ramen noodle bowls. And you can get ramen noodles at the grocery store, not the little packets that you have.
Not like the college ramen.
No. Like real bricks of ramen noodles. And so you can get that. They're ready. It takes 3 minutes to cook. That's it. 3 minutes to cook. Super easy. We throw every vegetable that we've got, except for potatoes, in a skillet and saute them really quickly. And then if we've got any leftover meat, we throw that in. And if we don't worry about it. Do that while the noodles are cooking. And then the dressing is 1/2 cup of reduced sodium soy sauce, 1 1/4 cup brown sugar, 1/8 cup of sesame oil, and then just throw a little sesame seeds in there, a little garlic powder, a little ginger, shake it up, and pour it on. It is fabulous, don't you think?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, less than 15 minutes with chopping and everything, and you're ready to go. And it's a great way to get kids to eat vegetables, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you? Except Marshall does not like, we still can't get those mushrooms
He's
past him.
anti-mushroom.
He is anti-mushroom, and I really do like a good mushroom to eat. Quackenbush. All right.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Okay. Cheers. Y'all have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Thank you for sticking with us.
Thanks. Bye.